In the quiet moments before dawn, when the world still slumbers and dreams drift like morning mist, I've watched countless souls wrestling with their deepest questions. Some find their answers in these silent hours, while others turn away, afraid of what they might discover in the depths of their own reflection. You see, my children, I've walked this earth for many seasons, watched empires rise and fall, witnessed ordinary people accomplish extraordinary feats, and through all these years, one truth remains constant. The greatest battle we face is not against the world outside, but against the whispers of doubt within our own minds. Let me share with you what wisdom has taught me about the nature of human spirit, about the fire that burns within each of us, waiting to be unleashed. Think back to when you were young, when possibility sparkled in your eyes like morning dew on fresh grass. What happened to those dreams? They didn't vanish. They're still there, buried beneath layers of but and cannot and someday. These words are the chains we forge ourselves, link by link, day by day, until they become so familiar we forget they're not part of who we truly are. I've seen it countless times, bright souls dimming their own light because they believe the shadows others cast upon them. I'm not qualified, they whisper. I'm not good enough, they sigh. I don't have enough money, they lament. But let me tell you something profound about these buts that hold you back. They are nothing more than stories you've chosen to believe. Yes, you heard me correctly. Chosen. Every morning when you open your eyes, you make a choice. Every time you face an obstacle, you make a choice. Every moment you spend dwelling on what you lack instead of acting on what you have, you make a choice. In all my years, I've never seen destiny knock politely at someone's door, waiting patiently for them to feel ready. Success doesn't send an invitation with RSVP cards. The universe doesn't pause its grand dance to ensure you feel perfectly prepared before taking your first step. Let me tell you about time, that precious currency we all spend but can never earn back. Each sunrise brings you 86,400 seconds. No more, no less. The wealthy can't buy more. The powerful can't demand more. We are all equal in the democracy of time. But how many of those seconds do you spend making excuses? How many do you waste waiting for the perfect moment? I've sat with champions and failures, with dreamers and cynics. Do you know what separates them? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not even opportunity. It's their relationship with time and choice. Champions understand that every second spent in excuse is a second stolen from excellence. Think of your life as a great book being written. Each day is a page, each year a chapter. Some of you are reading your own story with disappointment, wondering how the protagonist became so passive, so fearful, so small. But remember, you are not just the reader of this story. You are its author. When was the last time you felt truly alive? When was the last time you pushed beyond the comfortable boundaries of your existence? Some of you have been sleeping while awake, going through the motions, living life on autopilot. You've confused comfort with contentment, routine with purpose. Let me share a secret that took me decades to understand. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Every significant breakthrough in human history came from someone willing to be uncomfortable, someone willing to stand when others sat, to speak when others remained silent, to persist when others retreated. You say you want success. Let me tell you what success demands. Success demands all of you, not the leftovers of your day, not the scraps of your energy, not the remnants of your courage. Success demands your full presence, your complete commitment, your unwavering dedication. Some of you need to get tired, truly tired, not of trying, but of making excuses, not of failing, but of never giving enough to succeed, not of the journey, but of standing still while life passes you by. There's a difference between the exhaustion of effort and the weariness of regret. Choose your tiredness wisely. I've watched people celebrate mediocrity, take pride in doing just enough. They convince themselves that dreaming smaller is being realistic. But let me ask you this: when did settling become acceptable? When did you decide that your dreams were too big, your goals too ambitious, your potential too vast? Your ancestors didn't cross oceans, survive winters, build civilizations by settling for good enough. The blood of pioneers runs through your veins. The spirit of innovators dwells in your soul. You were not born to shrink yourself to make others comfortable with their own mediocrity. Here's what winning demands. It demands your mornings before the world wakes. It demands your evenings when others rest. It demands your focus when distractions beckon. It demands your persistence when failure mocks. Winning doesn't care about your excuses, your past, your fears, or your doubts. Winning only recognizes effort, persistence, dedication, and action. Some of you are waiting for permission. Permission to start, permission to succeed, permission to be great. Let me be clear. That permission will never come from outside. The only permission you need is your own. The only validation required is your commitment to your dreams. I've seen people transform their lives in ways that seemed impossible, not because they found some secret formula, but because they finally understood a fundamental truth. Change happens in the present, not in the future. Your transformation doesn't begin tomorrow, or next Monday, or next year. It begins in this breath, this moment, this decision. You must understand something about motivation. It's not a constant flame. It's a spark that you must fan into a fire every single day. Some days it will burn bright and hot. Other days it will barely flicker. But the secret isn't in feeling motivated. It's in acting despite your feelings. Look at your hands for a moment. Really look at them. These are the tools you've been given to build your future. They don't care about your past failures. They don't judge your previous mistakes. They simply wait for your commands, ready to build, create, work, and transform. Some of you have been carrying pain. The pain of past failures, the pain of lost opportunities, the pain of broken dreams. But pain can be a teacher or a jailer. The choice is yours. Let your pain fuel your purpose. Let your struggles sharpen your strength. Let your failures fertilize your future. The world doesn't owe you anything, not success, not happiness, not fulfillment. These are not gifts to be given, but treasures to be earned. Every day, you either move closer to these treasures or further away. There is no standing still in life. You're either growing or declining, advancing or retreating. I've witnessed too many deathbed regrets not to share this truth. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret is permanent. The discomfort of growth fades, but the ache of wondering what if haunts forever. Choose your pain wisely. Your potential is not a destination but a direction. It's not something you reach, it's something you pursue. Every day you wake up, you have a choice. Pursue that potential or protect your comfort. Chase your dreams or nurse your fears. Build your future or rehash your past. Some of you need to declare war on mediocrity in your life. You need to become intolerant of excuse-making, allergic to procrastination, hostile to half-hearted efforts. Your life is not a dress rehearsal. This is not a practice run. This is your one and only performance on the stage of life. Time doesn't care about your intentions. Goals don't respond to wishes. Dreams don't materialize through hope. The universe responds to action. Bold, consistent, determined action. Everything else is just conversation. Let me tell you about success. It's not an event. It's a process. It's not a destination. It's a journey. It's not a moment. It's a mindset. Success is the natural consequence of consistently applying discipline to your clearly defined goals. It's that simple and that difficult. You must understand something about adversity. It's not your enemy, it's your ally. Adversity doesn't come to destroy you, it comes to reveal you. It shows you what you're made of, what you're capable of, what you're willing to endure for your dreams. Some of you have been playing small, living in the shallow end of your potential. You've convinced yourself that safety lies in smallness. But safety is an illusion. The only true security lies in your ability to adapt, grow, and overcome. Your future is not determined by your past. Your potential is not limited by your present circumstances. Your destiny is not controlled by your doubts. The only limitations that truly bind you are the ones you accept in your mind. Remember this: the world makes way for those who know where they're going. It yields to those who move with purpose. It rewards those who persist with passion. The universe conspires to help those who have the courage to help themselves. Every great achievement in human history started with a decision, a moment when someone said enough to mediocrity, no more to excuses, starting now to action. Your moment is not coming, it's here. Your time is not later, it's now. Your turn is not next, it's this very breath. The choice is yours, as it has always been. You can continue to live in the shallow waters of comfort, making excuses, nursing fears, protecting your mediocrity. Or you can swim out into the deep waters of possibility, where fear and growth dance together, where comfort and achievement cannot coexist. What gets you out of bed? What moves you to action? What drives you toward your dreams? These are not questions for tomorrow. These are not reflections for someday. These are urgent inquiries for this moment, this breath, this heartbeat. The time for small thinking is over. The season for excuse-making has passed. The era of someday is done. Now is the time for action. Now is the time for courage. Now is the time for greatness. Your life is calling. Your purpose is waiting. Your potential is crying out for expression. Will you answer? Will you respond? Will you rise? The choice, as always, is yours. But remember this: while you're deciding, time is moving, opportunities are passing, life is happening. The only guarantee in life is that it moves forward, with or without your participation, with or without your permission, with or without your preparation. So I ask you one final time: what gets you out of bed? What moves you to action? What calls you to greatness? The answer lies not in my words, but in your response to them. The power lies not in this message, but in your decision to act upon it. The transformation begins not in these thoughts, but in your commitment to embody them. Now rise, now act, now begin. For this is your moment, your time, your life, and it starts now. Listen closely, for what I share next comes from the deepest wells of experience, from countless dawns watched and countless souls guided through their darkest hours. You see, there's something peculiar about human nature that I've observed through the ages. We often wait for tragedy to teach us about triumph, for loss to teach us about appreciation, for silence to teach us about purpose. But why must we wait for life to force these lessons upon us? Why not choose to learn them willingly, purposefully now? I've sat with millionaires who feel bankrupt inside, and I've met those who own nothing but possess a wealth of purpose that many would envy. The difference? Understanding that life's greatest currency isn't money, it's meaning. Every morning, you make deposits into the bank of your existence. Some deposit excuses, others deposit efforts. Some deposit complaints, others deposit contributions. And just like any bank, what you deposit determines what you can withdraw. Let me tell you about the power of small decisions. Many wait for big moments to change their lives, for dramatic events to spark transformation. But life isn't shaped by occasional big decisions. It's shaped by thousands of tiny choices we make every day. The decision to wake up early or hit snooze. The choice to read a book or scroll mindlessly through your phone. The decision to face a fear or flee from it. These small choices might seem insignificant in the moment, but they compound. They build upon each other like layers of sediment, forming rock over time. Before you realize it, these small choices have constructed the foundation of your character, the architecture of your destiny. I've watched people wait for motivation like they wait for rain in a drought. But motivation isn't rain. It's not something that falls from the sky beyond your control. Motivation is more like a garden that you must tend daily. Some days, you'll feel the sun on your face and the wind at your back, and tending that garden will feel effortless. Other days, you'll face storms and frost, and every action will require tremendous effort. But here's the secret. The garden doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to what you do. Think about the word responsibility for a moment. Most see it as a burden, something heavy to carry. But break down the word responsibility, the ability to respond. You have the ability to respond to life's challenges, to respond to opportunities, to respond to your own potential calling out to you. This isn't a burden, it's a power. It's not something weighing you down, it's something setting you free. I want you to understand something about fear. Fear isn't your enemy, it's your compass. It points directly at what you need to do next. The things that frighten you most are often the very things that will help you grow the most. Every time you feel fear, you're standing at the edge of opportunity. The question isn't whether to feel fear. The question is what you'll do when you feel it. Some of you have been waiting for the perfect moment to begin. Let me tell you about perfect moments. They don't exist. They're an illusion that keeps you trapped in the waiting room of life. The perfect moment is now. Not because now is perfect, but because now is real. Now is where life happens. Now is where change is possible. Now is where growth begins. Think about the people you admire most, the ones who've achieved what you dream of achieving. They weren't given more hours in the day than you. They weren't given special permission to succeed. They weren't immune to fear or doubt or failure. The only difference is they decided to begin, to persist, to push through when others pulled back. Your life is like a book, yes, but it's not just any book. It's an unfinished symphony, a story still being written. Every day you pick up the pen. Every moment you choose the next note in your melody. Some of you have been letting others write your story, compose your song. Some of you have been living life in the footnotes when you were meant to be the headline. Let me share with you what decades of observation have taught me about regret. The most painful regrets aren't from the things we tried and failed at. They're from the things we never tried at all. The songs we never sang, the love we never expressed, the dreams we never pursued. These are the ghosts that haunt us in our quiet moments, the whispers that keep us awake at night. You must understand something about time. It's not just passing, it's passing through you. Every moment leaves its mark. Every decision shapes your becoming. You're not just living through time, you're being sculpted by it. The question is, are you a passive piece of clay, or are you actively participating in your own creation? I've seen too many people confuse activity with progress. They stay busy, fill their days with motion, but never really move forward. Remember, movement isn't the same as progress. A rocking chair moves, but it goes nowhere. You need direction, purpose, intention behind your actions. Some of you need to understand the difference between interest and commitment. Interest reads about it. Commitment does it. Interest talks about it. Commitment acts on it. Interest wants it. Commitment works for it. Interest dreams about it. Commitment sacrifices for it. Your potential isn't a fixed destination. It's an expanding universe. Every time you reach what you thought was your limit, you'll find new horizons beyond it. That's why settling is so dangerous. It's not just accepting less than you could be. It's accepting less than you could even imagine being. Let me tell you about the power of belief. Your beliefs aren't just thoughts in your head. They're the glasses through which you see the world. They filter your experiences, shape your expectations, and ultimately create your reality. If you believe something is impossible, you'll find evidence to support that belief. If you believe something is possible, you'll find ways to make it happen. The world is filled with people waiting to be chosen, waiting for permission, waiting for recognition, waiting for validation. But here's the truth. The people who change the world, who achieve extraordinary things, who live lives of purpose and meaning, they choose themselves. They give themselves permission. They validate their own dreams. Some of you have been living life in rehearsal mode, waiting for the real show to begin. But there is no rehearsal. This is the show. This is your life, happening right now in real time. Every moment you spend waiting is a moment you'll never get back. The quality of your life isn't determined by what happens to you, but by how you respond to what happens. Life will throw obstacles in your path, that's guaranteed. But obstacles aren't stop signs, they're guidelines. They don't tell you to quit. They invite you to get creative, to grow stronger, to become more resourceful. Your journey isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about who you become along the way. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome, every fear you confront. These experiences aren't just steps toward your goal. They're elements that forge your character. The time has come to stop asking, "Why me?" when faced with challenges, and start asking, "What's next?" The time has come to stop wondering, "What if?" and start declaring, "What now?" The time has come to stop waiting for life to happen to you and start happening to life. This is your awakening. This is your calling. This is your moment of truth. Will you answer? The choice, as always, remains yours. But remember, not choosing is still a choice. Not acting is still an action. Not deciding is still a decision. So rise now, act now, begin now. For this is your moment, your time, your life. And it starts now, in this breath, in this heartbeat, in this singular, precious moment of possibility. The world awaits your greatness.